Pliny the Elder, the Roman naturalist who died in the eruption of Vesuvius in 79 AD, wrote in his Historia Naturalis that the most esteemed cheese in Rome came from the country of the Gabelles and the Dravardin. That is the Massif Central, that is the Auvergne, that is within reasonably certainty the territory that today produces Cantal. Which means that today's episode is about a cheese that has been considered excellent for at least 2,000 years. And today the Tour de France starts in Aurillac, the capital of the Cantal department, right in the heart of the country where it all began. This is Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast, and welcome back to the Food Tour de France. I'm your host, Andrew Pryor. Before I go any further, I want to say that I've done a full dedicated episode on Cantal cheese with the wonderful Jennifer Greco, who knows more about this cheese than almost anybody that I've ever spoken to on the podcast. If you want the full picture, the deep dive, the complete story told by someone who's genuinely passionate about Cantal, then go and find that episode in the back catalogue. But today, because we are in Aurillac and the tour is starting here, I want to give Cantal the moment it deserves in this series, a good introduction and invitation. So come and find Jennifer's episode afterwards. So, Cantal, one of the oldest cheeses in France, and some would argue the oldest, predating Roquefort's first documented region protection of 1411 by well over 1,000 years. If Pliny's reference is taken seriously, that is. And there's every reason to take it serious. The techniques used to make Cantal today, the double pressing of the curd, the salting, the long aging, are remarkably close to what we know of ancient Roman-era cheesemaking. This is a cheese that has been pressed, salted and aged in the landscape for 2,000 years. Some things in French food go back a long way, and Cantal goes back further than most. The cheese takes its name from the Cantal Mountains, an ancient volcanic massif that forms the heart of the Auvergne, culminating in the Plomb de Cantal at just over 1,800 metres. The department of Cantal takes its name from the mountains. The cheese takes its name from the mountains. Everything here is in the mountains. The volcanic soil produces grass of exceptional quality, and the Pays Vert, the green country extending across nearly 600,000 hectares of the Haute Auvergne, where the mineral richness of the lava-derived soil feeds an extraordinary diversity of plant life. During the summer grazing season, cows on the high pasture eat more than 60 different species of plants and flowers. All of that botanical diversity ends up in their milk, and all of that milk ends up in the cheese. The cheese officially bears its name since 1298, though the cheesemaking goes back far beyond that. It received its AOC in 1956 and its European AOP in 1996. The production zone covers the department of Cantal, plus parts of the Puy-de-Dôme, Northern Auvergne, Eastern Creuse, and a single municipality in the Haute-Loire. Is a physically enormous cheese. A full-size wheel called a forme de Cantal weighs between 35 and 45 kilograms, measures around 42 centimetres across. You need 400 litres of milk just to make a single one of these. They are cheeses built for the scale of the landscape that produces them. The making of Cantal is distinctive in one specific way that sets it apart from most other pressed cheeses. It is pressed twice. The milk is coagulated, the curd is cut and then pressed for the first time to expel the whey. But then the curd at this stage, called the tome de Cantal, is broken up again, salted throughout the mass and pressed for a second time. This double pressing and the salting in the mass gives Cantal its characteristic slightly granular, crumbly texture as it ages. And the even distribution of the salt through the whole curd gives it a consistency of flavour that is difficult to achieve any other way. The manufacturing process takes 33 hours from start to finish. Then the cheese goes to the cellar. There are 3 ages of Cantal. They are different cheeses in character. Cantal Juin, young Cantal, which is between 30 to 60 days. It's pale, ivory, subtle, mild and buttery, with a gentle lactic freshness that some compare to mozzarella or a very mild cheddar. The rind is grey-white. It's an approachable everyday cheese. Then you have Cantal Être deux, between 90 to 210 days, is where the personality begins to emerge. The flavour deepens. The paste, it darkens to yellow, a nuttiness and gentle tang develop. The rind moves from grey-white towards gold. This is the version most commonly found in French markets and considered by many to be the most balanced. And then you have Cantal Vieux, aged at least 240 days and often considerably longer. It's something entirely different. The paste is darker, still firmer, occasionally slightly crumbly. The flavour is bold, complex, with a pronounced nuttiness, a definite tang, and the kind of lingering depth that only comes from long aging and cool, humid cellars. The pitted brown, spotted exterior of the well-aged Cantal Vieux is the work of centuries of accumulated knowledge about what patience does to milk. The historic connection to French royalty, Cantal came to prominence at the court of Louis XIV, when the third Sentier, a military man from the Auvergne, served it at the royal table. He's also credited with introducing Saint Nectaire and Salers to the court. One man from the Massif Central quietly transforming the cheese culture of the most powerful court in Europe. And for a long time in the history of the region, Cantal served a more practical purpose than impressing kings. It was used as currency. Wine from the south of France was traded for Cantal from the Haute d'Auvergne, a barter that made complete economic sense given that each region had an abundance and what it lacked. The barons, the old stone seasonal shelters on the high pastures where cheesemakers spent the summer months, completely isolated from the valleys below, are one of the most evocative features of the Cantal landscape. From May to September, the baroniers, a strictly hierarchical team of workers, lived and worked in these buildings, looking after the herds, milking them twice daily, and pressing the milk into cheese. At the head was the Cantalais, responsible for milking and the cheesemaking. Below him, the vacheur, who managed the herd, and the boutelier, who washed the utensils and prepared the meals. An entire small society, self-contained in a stone hut at altitude, making cheese all summer long. Some barons still exist. The tradition of summer transhumance, moving the animals to the high pastures, has not been abandoned. The cheese made in summer when the cows are grazing on that extraordinary diversity of mountain flora is considered the finest expression of what Cantal can be. Today, the tour starts in Aurillac. The Cantal mountains are all around. And somewhere up in that high pasture, in a stone barron that has been standing for longer than most buildings in Paris, someone is pressing a tome de Cantal for the second time and getting ready to send it into a cellar for 8 months or more. For the full story of this extraordinary cheese, the detail, the passion, the expertise, and go and find my episode with Jennifer Greco. It is one of the conversations that I'm most proud of in the 5 years of making this podcast. Today was an introduction, and she delivers the complete picture. That's Cantal. Tomorrow on the Food Tour de France, another stage, another story. So bon appétit et à très bientôt.